guys, we're back. It's the Fearless Pursuit of Freedom podcast, and today's guest is an all-around, well-rounded entrepreneur out of Dallas, Texas, and he's doing so many things. We'll just dig in, and he'll tell us about what he's doing. But today I've got another Brandon on the show.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
And how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Gazaway or?
Yeah, Gazaway. Yes, sir.
Oh, easy it is. Okay, cool. So I did the typical podcast host stalker thing, and I found out a lot about you. And so, I mean, you're in clothing, you're in supplements, manufacturing. How long have you been an entrepreneur? Why'd you do it? And we'll just dig in.
So a little bit about my backstory. I grew up a preacher's kid, and not a very wealthy one at that. So I like money, and I have a wife and kids, so they like money.
Yeah.
And to do things at all costs. So started out actually a construction worker about 12 years ago. And from, I don't know what snapped, but something snapped inside of me that I was more than that. I didn't have to have a college education. I didn't have to have all these degree and accolades to make a better life. And so that was, 12 was more like 14 years ago. In a 2-year period, I went from being a laborer on the field, working my way up in a wind construction company out of Denmark, and became the director of all of their operations, and did that for about a year, and then became the director of the whole business in the U.S. and South America. Doing that, I learned a lot. I had to, trial by fire. But I also learned that you get so big like that, and you get those corporations that you really can't put your heart and soul into what you want to put it into. It's mainly trading your time for money, and there's not a whole lot of satisfaction. And it took me a while to realize that satisfaction is what I wanted, that fulfillment of helping other people.
Yeah.
And so we jumped out. I had my third child on the way, and I came home one day and told my wife I quit my job. Just kind of, I don't jump in the deep end. I take a deep sea charter and jump out in the ocean when I decide to take action. And so quit my job, had some contacts. We did some consulting down in South America, which was very lucrative for me. And again, after, 2-3 years of doing that, I decided I was done. I enjoyed the health and fitness lifestyle. I enjoyed T-shirts. I'm a very anti-suit and tie guy, so clothing was T-shirts, athleisure wear. And so we just quit. I just stopped and said, I'm done traveling. I'm done going to South America. I'm done doing these things. So let's take action. And I bought a supplement shop in Frisco, Texas. And fortunately for me, it was about a week from going out of business. They had done some mismanagement, didn't know how to market things. I didn't know I knew how to market. I just kind of stumbled my way into it and took the actions. In a 14-month period, we went from one failing store to 8 around the Metroplex here.
Awesome.
Thriving. Decided I wanted to get into more and diversify, so I was able to liquidate that to another guy who wanted to take it over and turn it into a multiple chain store, even further than what I have, and he's done pretty well with that. But I took that, and that's where I got into clothing. I got into supplement manufacturing. I actually realized I have a knack for digital marketing, and so we've done funnels and other things like that, and I've been able to take my consulting business to a supplement business to diversify to where I'm partners in 8 different businesses. So that's kind of the past to now where I'm at.
It's awesome. You said, I heard you say, what was that term you used for your leisure clothing? What was it?
Athleisure. I'm not an athlete, but I like leisure clothing. So
yeah. That's pretty much me. I mean, anywhere I go, even if I'm going to go meet a seller for the first time and try to buy their house, I'm in shorts and T-shirt.
Absolutely.
I think for the most part, they appreciate it that,
Yeah.
I'm more real, but that's pretty awesome. But you said you're partner in what? You said 8 companies. Are they all fitness supplement, or are they just a whole?
No, they're broad. I mean, we've got lead gen, we've got a marketing company. We've got, of course, my biggest one is my my supplement manufacturing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my own supplement line that we're slowly bringing out. Um, I've got my coaching business that I do, as well as motivational speaking. I've got a construction company that I'm a silent partner in that does mainly roofing. Right now, we do it around the Metroplex. I've got a large crew up in Connecticut right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, let's see. What else? I've got a CBD line that we do out of house. And then I do a ton of consulting with clothing and manufacturing and
Yeah.
such.
It's awesome, man. I mean,
Thank you.
how do you have time for yourself and family?
Lots of stimulant. Really, it breaks down to my routine. That's something. I'm obsessive about things, and I think a lot of people say they are, but a lot of people aren't really willing to get uncomfortably obsessive. So my routine starts at 3:30 in the morning. I'm up. I'm at the gym by 4. Control. I've got a routine in that 30 minutes. It's a cold shower, my supplements, 2 bottles of water, and then I grab a bang on the way out the door, and I'm head to the house or head to the gym, and hour cardio, lift my weights. Doesn't do much other than maintain me at this point. My diet and nutrition are probably where I vary and slack off and need to improve. But all that happens before 6 a.m. So I'm just driven and determined to be the first one up, the last one to bed. Uh, and really, a lot of that stems from uh, my obsessive mandate on myself. I want to be up in and coming back in the door as my kids get up for school. And
Yeah.
so it's a legacy thing that I want to leave for them. That Daddy was always the first one up. Daddy was always the last one to bed. I'm always there. I'm always um, pursuing excellence. And
Yeah.
and that's, whether it's coaching my son's football team or being at my daughter's soccer game or my other daughter's dance recitals, or they see me work. I want them to understand that the work ethic, it's setting expectations for them. And so that's what drives me. Making sure that my kids and my wife and my family understand that if there's a drop left at the end of the day, I didn't give it my all. And so
Right.
we live every day to the fullest.
Man, that's awesome. And again, in my stalking of you, I found a lot of things. So I want to talk about um, the Flex Your Faith. Is that a clothing line or is that one of your motivational coaching things?
That is my clothing line. That's one of them, but that's mine individually.
Yeah.
Flex Your Faith was, like I said, I grew up a preacher's kid, and I wanted to get away from the connotation. Love church. We go. I'm actually part of a team called Strike Force. We do the old power team style routine, break bats, rip phone books. I run through ice walls and that kind of crazy stuff. But I wanted to get away from the religious connotation. And a lot of my message is you have faith, regardless if you're agnostic, Muslim, regardless of your religion, you have faith because you want to achieve things in life. So being a meathead as I am,
Mm.
it's a flex your faith. So it's flex your beliefs.
Yeah.
Go beyond yourself and beyond what you think you can do and push. And
Yeah.
so that's our whole message.
I keep saying that's awesome, but that's awesome. Because I think there's definitely got to be a healthy habit or healthy balance between the two.
Yeah.
Of, uh, I mean, you call yourself a meathead, but I think it's pretty important to be that have the healthy side, but then also incorporate everything else and not just be your traditional meathead, just banging crap around in the gym and yelling curse words. But
Yeah, yeah. I had to learn that. About a year and a half ago, I snapped my bicep, smooth off my arm,
ouch.
in front of about 2,500 people, breaking a bat for Strike Force.
Yeah.
And so up until then, it was, there's nothing I can't move, and would always tout myself as kind of the modern day Samson. And I'm 36, so I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm not old enough to feel that old. And so
Yeah.
I had to realize a healthy balance. I'm getting back into that and having to reteach myself that, no, you don't have to bench 500 pounds. No, you don't have to, try to squat 7 plates. You can, do hypertrophy with lighter weights, higher reps.
Yeah.
So, that's what kind of gets my mind off of all the business and all the clutter in the world. Is I go in the gym, I shut it out, and it's something new and challenging every day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually been one of my challenges lately is I started working out like 10 years ago, and it was part of one of those things. I just wanted to look better and then obviously feel better about myself and then help with the mind body control. But then as I got back into it, it became a ritual. And, now I can't not go to the gym. It bothers me. But my biggest thing lately, I'm every time I do it, I'm like, man, what am I doing? Obviously I got my phone with me, my Bluetooth headset on, and I'm freaking browsing my emails while I'm trying to work out. I'm like, damn it, what am I doing? I'm here to work out. And it's been going on for about 3 months. I feel like, man, I just need to shut off this work thing, get in here, dominate, and get out, and then worry about work. And so I'm working on that.
Cardio is my struggle.
Really?
Because we lift weights and then I'll get on the treadmill or the elliptical. I don't do a Stairmaster. Hats off to the guys that do, but the elliptical or treadmill, and I'll be going and listening to music, and then I hear the ding, and next thing I know, I'm going and I'm answering emails and listening to music.
Yeah.
Like this is not relaxing. It's not refocusing myself, and that is. Some people meditate. That's my meditation time. Is to really focus just on being me.
Right. Same thing. And I'm ruining it right now, and I know I am. And so I bought Bluetooth headphones so I can leave my phone by my keys, but I never do it. I've only done it like 3 times, but it's perfect because my phone's across the whole gym. I have to force myself to go way over there and grab my phone. So I've been working on that. But your Flex Your Faith clothing line, I've seen Mike O'Hearn wearing some of that. So is he like the main model, or how does that work?
So I owned for a while. I owned a printing company that did printing T-shirts, and so he still reps it. Mike and I are great friends. Can't say enough about him. Lots of positive mindsets, regardless of everybody that has their opinions on him. When you get away from the cameras, he's just a good dude. But yeah, so he'll rep my stuff for me. But I printed all of his power bodybuilding for about 2 years. We got through. I actually brought in a partner. Part of my, and I'll rabbit trail just a little bit. Part of all of my businesses is I start these things, but I do it with the intent of giving somebody else an opportunity to change their life. And so, like the print shop, I had a young guy, didn't have a whole lot of people skills, wasn't a salesman, was trying to sell cars, going broke doing it, but he loved artistic work and loved printing T-shirts. And so we bought the business. I got involved and immersed in it, got Mike involved with printing his stuff and several other larger names. And so I've stepped away and let him continue to do that, print all the T-shirts and do all that stuff. But Mike was real crucial in that whole time of helping me get the young man started. And of course, it makes good business and makes good money for us, but it helps him make a living and helps him, not go homeless and have a craft, a skill, and a business. He can earn through sweat equity.
Yeah. Yeah, I did somewhat of a similar thing here recently because I bought a carpet cleaning franchise, a ChemDry franchise. It was probably, I think, somewhere around 7 years ago. And I was owner operator for about 4 years, day in and day out, 12-hour days, cleaning carpets all day. And then 2015, moved out to Texas. And being a franchise, it was stuck in that zip code in that county. And so I had to leave it there. So I had to learn how to hire people. And then I had to outsource my phone calls. But then had one employee bail on me without telling me. Had to fly out there, train somebody new, call the cops, figure out where this dude went. I didn't know if he died. And I started finding some things missing. And so I had to file claims on him and to get him out of the woodworks. And finally he was like, hey, man, I didn't know how to break it to you, but I just wanted to quit. I was like, man, whatever. So anyways, the guy that I trained when I went out there ended up being with me for the past 2.5 years. And the company wasn't a big moneymaker for me. And really, every time he called, I was like, man, what broke this time? And so my franchise agreement was coming up. And I was like, okay, do I keep it? Do I get rid of it? And finally, I was like, I'm just going to give it to my tech. So it's been a blessing him. So I paid for the transfer documents and all the paperwork and basically gave him the company. I mean, I didn't ask for any money from him. And now he owns a company at 38, 39, however old he is. But first kid on his way. So hopefully he takes it, and it's a huge blessing to him as well.
Well, when you focused on, at least the principle I try to live by is when I'm focused on helping people, money's a byproduct of that. I'll always prosper because people always need help. And so no matter whether it's printing T-shirts or making supplements, I mean, that whole manufacturing company came out of me and another partner trying to help two biochemists that didn't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
It was helping them. And then, you get myself and a couple other guys involved and magic starts happening.
Yeah.
And those guys' lives are forever changed. And regardless of whether, I become a multi-millionaire off of it or if it's just a little side hobby, the fact that we change people's lives will come back to us in multiple ways.
Yeah. Man, you do a lot of traveling or something, because you got Michael Hearn, you got biochemist, and
yeah, network. Growing up a preacher kid, I guess it's bred into you to network. I mean, you're in churches. My dad preached. He was an evangelist for the first 7-8 years of my life, which basically means we were broke preachers that traveled from city to city.
Really?
So yeah, so having comfort zones.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was, and my wife is still teaching me what that is, because she grew up in what I like to call Mayberry. Same church, same school, same friends all her life, and so I'm just not used to that. Man, that's been a recent aha moment for me. Is that I deal and adapt with change very easily. It doesn't, 30 minutes and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
It's more like 30 days, 30 weeks for her. So,
Yeah.
it's something, even after 13 years of marriage, I'm still understanding how to be a better husband, a better father, a better businessman by understanding how I react, how that differentiates with others.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing. Because it wasn't until the past few years that I realized, and it had always been something that I guess I knew, but I really had to start thinking about how others think and operate, and realize that what I'm thinking, they don't necessarily think that way at all, or even the fact that they don't look at things from my side either. And so when I am compassionate or I think about say politics or something, I'm like, what in the world are you even thinking? And then I got to step back and think, all right, I'm one out of a trillion different combinations of chemistry within the body. And then, I like to do my hair this way or whatever. And they think it looks retarded, but that's just the way they were designed. And so I have to step back from a lot of situation and realize that, okay, there's a cajillion of us and none of us are the same. And I like this flavor of Bang, like you're saying. They may think
I've
Bang.
got mine sitting here.
Yeah. So it takes a lot to step back from a situation and think, okay, this is a different human. They definitely think differently. And it's just, I think it's one of those things about advancing as an entrepreneur as well.
So one of the biggest things that changed my life with that, both my marriage and dealing with people, is right after I bought the supplement store, a guy gave me a book. And I won't lie, it pissed me off at first because it was called Kindle Life Languages. And I'm like, I know how to talk to people. I grew up in church, and so I had a little bit of pride with it. But
Yeah.
so I read the book, and it's got a test that you take, kind of like the DISC, or, I won't call it one of those fruity personality tests, but it's not something I'm real amped to take.
Yeah.
But I took it, and what I realized is what I say isn't what people hear.
Yeah.
And to be an effective person that helps people and an effective entrepreneur, you have to understand how people hear you. And so I'm a high influencer and a high mover.
Mhm.
My wife, however, is a high contemplator and then a high doer. And so while she's thinking about something, I'm trying to influence her to get out of my way because I need to move.
Yeah.
And that understanding that chemistry of communication, it's where I can, after about an hour with a person, I can tell you what their high strengths are or what their personality and their languages are.
Yeah.
And then I understand how to communicate with them.
Yeah.
So it did change my life because again, coming from the hardcore gym and the construction background, we're not the nicest of people. And
Sure.
we don't say everything with flowers and roses and daisies.
Yeah.
I'm having to learn to soften that, especially with daughters and dealing with people
Yeah.
in different industries. The gym industry is way different than realty or manufacturing or B2B type stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to swap languages basically within the English language.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, the disc test, I've never taken it, but it's literally on my to-do list of things to do because I'm curious what it dials me in as.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, I'm a dominant and I'm creative. Was the D and the C were my high ones,
Yeah.
which is weird to be both. But
Really.
well, the lady said it, and so when I took it, I was like, "So I failed it." She's like, "No, but you're really abnormal." Okay, I don't know what that means, but
Perfect. Yeah.
I like to say I failed the disc, which it's an unfailable test. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. Oh, what the heck just happened here? Oh, my calendar's just popped up. Computer just went blocked you out for a second.
uh,
Um, so, all right. So we've talked about all the things that you've done. Let's pick. It doesn't have to be a current business, but let's pick one of them where you literally started from nothing, did the roller coaster of what the heck am I doing to boom, now it's successful.
um, that would be the supplement manufacturing, and it's my passion.
Yeah.
On in and out, in and out. Like I said, it kind of started with my supplement stores.
Yep.
Um, so I grew up to 8 of them over 14 months, and had this great idea. We were going to big Andy Frisella fan, so we were going to be the supplement superstore in Texas. At the time, 4 or 5 years ago, we were the fastest growing supplement store in Texas. Um, what I didn't realize is how to scale. I hadn't learned how to scale. We're doing all this off of instinct, and so getting the stores open, I kept thinking, oh, if I just get the stores open, the money's coming in, everything will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I massively failed, and I unapologetically say that because the stores didn't fail, but trying to outfit 8 stores at a time versus one, I didn't understand that, there's logistics involved. I didn't know nothing about logistics. Didn't understand a centralized warehouse versus um, drop shipping. And so it, it became a major struggle on me, almost to the point of anxiety attacks and things like that. And so we sold.
Yeah.
And, uh, it's the only thing I can say I quit. And when I quit, it it bothers me even today, even though we've rebounded and come back and done some other things. I just walked away because I didn't know which way to turn. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs get that. They get the launch sequence where they launch out. And you and I were talking earlier about 5-hour energy. And entrepreneurs, even the ones I coach, I always ask them, what's your after? Everybody's got a goal. And so I had this goal of being the largest supplement chain in Dallas and then Texas and then, beyond there. But I didn't have an after and a how. So it was get stores open. Oh, great. Who's going to run them? How are you going to run them?
Yeah.
And so I learned the hard way, and it overwhelmed me. And I'm not one. I'm extremely competitive, even inside myself.
Hmm.
If I don't think I can do it, I'm inside. The inner CT Fletcher is yakking at me. Get up and do it. So
Yeah, yeah,
we, walking away still bothers me. But I took a year and a half off, and I really, I took a good couple months and beat myself up and went down. And I owe a lot to Todd Abrams, who's the owner of Icon Meals. He, man, the dude in one shape or form has transformed a lot of my life. Because I'm beating myself up. He's over there going, Brandon, what are you doing? You just went from 1 to 8. You're not looking at the accomplishments. And so, in that downtime, I had another entrepreneur, another person, speak into my life and go, yeah, you may have failed, but look at all you accomplished, and now you've learned. And
yeah,
so we circled the wagons after a couple of months of me being hard headed and thinking I suck, and jumped into, okay, how do we rebuild this? How do I do this? And so, that was my pit. I mean, was it a financial loss? No, but I honestly, money will come and go. Money will always be around if you know what you're doing. But it's the mindsets that if you lose in your mind, it's a matter of time before you're going to lose everything else.
yeah,
And you have to determine your mindset to win. And so in that pit, to have him kind of push me through it, and it was all while working out. So he's yelling at me to push the weight and yelling at me to get my mind right and helping me. That's kind of how I respond to things. I'm good at responding to that traditional football coach style. And so in that pit, I came out. We we launched a product line, and then this biochemist I know and a partner of mine knew another biochemist, and one I know is very young, and couldn't find. I mean, brilliant, but couldn't find anybody to help fund him. The biochemist my business partner knew was brilliant, but he's old, and his wife just died, and he doesn't want to do it anymore. And so we walked in, me and my buddy, and said, "Hey, what if we could come in here and run this? What if we could come in here and bring this, and we'll even bring a young protege to help you with the formulations." And so we walked into a $7-8 million facility, and for all of us, sweat equity, and there's some little cash to get some things up and going, but we walked in and took over a spot for basically no money. And so what I would tell and what I coach is, even if you failed, even if you quit, leverage yourself because you have more knowledge in what you're doing. And so, over the past several months, we leveraged ourselves from no money, no business, to now we run over 18, 19 product lines, full lines, for different individuals. I've got two athletes I've done their product lines that are in the Olympia next week. And then we do multiple in-house. And a lot of what I look at when, coming up and really want to be successful is, what is it that other people aren't doing? And so you and I were talking about a lot of the people jump into something and it either takes off or it explodes. And I like to call it rocket ships or submarines. And so what I tried to do is look at that and see how can I help those people ease the pain. And so knowing, I had a pre-workout that was pretty infamous around Dallas called WPD. And I just did that while we had the shops. Helped formulate it and put it together, and people loved it and it took off. But what was my biggest pain was the fact that I had to get a minimum of 500 units.
hmm,
And so most people don't have that chunk of money just to lay down and go, okay, let's try this. I
right,
was blessed enough to have it at that point, but it was a big deciding factor for many supplement shop owners that would have, they know what their customers want. They could, they had the money, they could produce it. So when we sat down, I said, listen, scaling's great, getting big, great, getting, humongous equipment that we do a million. unit runs, that's all great. But my focus is helping the small person, helping that guy that has a product idea. Maybe he's, a local gym hero. Maybe he owns a gym or a supplement shop, and getting a run down to 50 units. Most all of them, within 400 or 500 bucks, they can swing that versus 4 or 5 thousand.
Yeah.
And so we brought everything in house. I do label designs. The can I showed you last night, I did that all off my iPhone. And so we created the label. We get the formula all in house, and so we can go from cradle to grave all the way up to the retail package under one roof. And so it's taken off. I mean, we've got more orders. I think we're 8 formulations behind, just in what came in the last 48 hours. And it's not because we do anything extraordinary. What I say is we do the normal things in extraordinary ways. And so we'll give you what you want. We'll give you the product you want. We try to do it faster than anybody else. Most lead times are 6 to 8 weeks. We try to do it in 1 to 3, depending on, it takes cooperation. But we've taken it. It's on track to be a 7-figure business this year and probably 8 to 9 figures next year, just in what we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that drink you showed me last night, that was a nootropic energy.
So think Bang with a nootropic in it. And that's basically, Jack will probably get mad at me for mentioning Bang, but I'm a big consumer of Bang. To his credit and my fault, I drink 2 to 3 of them a day.
Yeah.
So I like the caffeine. So we're trying to get something like this. But I also like nootropics. That's what helps keep me sharp. I average about 19, 20-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week. So I've got to take something to keep me going.
Yeah. So
I want to try to get something like that in a drink that tastes good, to help other people.
Yeah. So you're a Joe Rogan fan then, because he's all about nootropics.
Yeah, I'm on it. I like to say I love Joe Rogan, but I'm also envious of On It because, man, they are killing it.
Yeah, his Alpha Brain is awesome.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I've got something coming. Just wait. I got something coming that's going to blow that off the water.
Oh, good, because I just ordered one from Amazon, and I forget it's something out there, but one of the ones off of Amazon, I was trying to try a cheaper one, and it's decent. I'll probably order it again just because it's so cheap. But yeah, nootropics is something that I've always been interested in. And I think
we'll send you a couple of ours, let you do an official review on it.
Okay, cool. I like it. I think it's pretty important. I think that movie, what was that movie that came out?
Limitless.
Limitless. I was like, dude, I need a limitless pill. I think all entrepreneurs would want that. But
yeah, the problem is there is now Limitless obviously exaggerated that how the effects.
Yeah.
There are prescriptions out there that you can get that will do very similar, but that's the problem. Once you find something that works, it generally, and that's with all supplements, you find something like ephedra that works, the government makes it illegal. And then they came out with DMAA and the government made it illegal.
Yeah.
Modafinil, and now it's illegal. And so it's constantly changing to try to find something that works, but that will stay legal, and what time limit do you have? So
yeah,
that's been my biggest challenge in staying up. Is it's very difficult to stay up with the upcoming trend ahead of whoever's calling whatever illegal.
Yeah, the government, land of the free, but they're always taking away all the stuff we want to do.
Yeah.
Always restricting. I mean,
absolutely.
That's a totally different interview and conversation right there. But I think a lot of what we just spoke about goes in line with your flex your faith, and entrepreneurship is faith, self-awareness, and then conquering your own mind. Because as an entrepreneur, most of us do have a little bit of that self-doubt. Am I doing what needs to be done to make this an adventure that can not last a year, but 5, 10, 20, 30 years, lifelong careers. But
Well, and I still question myself today.
Yep.
When we got home this morning, everybody thinks the life of an entrepreneur is, a little bit of struggle, and then you live, with an umbrella drink the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of suck factor to being an
Oh
entrepreneur.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, and so, it's almost daily. I get worried if it's not daily, where I ask myself, man, what are you doing? Why are you doing? You go work for somebody.
Yeah.
And then I think, but man, my soul would die. I'm not that guy. And so, I'm here to tell everybody it is completely normal to question you. I do it, and it's completely normal for your spouse to question me, because mine
Mhm.
looks at me every other day or so and like, what in the world are you thinking? Why would you do that? And then it works, and I get to tell her she was wrong.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think my girlfriend, she has all the faith in the world in me. Where sometimes she's like, "Really?
yeah,
This is what you want to do?" Yeah.
absolutely.
See, I made a big old long list of things I wanted to talk to you about. I think we covered a lot of it. But you're doing, and actually, I didn't write this one down, but I remember you talked about a lead generation
I
deal you're
am.
working on.
So I called the guy my network ninja. Richard Roy is my guy that does all of my digital. Uh, Man, I'm horrible on electronics.
Mhm.
They don't bulletproof them. So the thought of doing websites and lead platforms, I leave that all up. I'm smart enough to know I need a guy to do that.
Yeah.
So we got Richard to do it. And so he came to me with this idea for a lead gen platform. Uh, but again, in my little tribe of people that I do life with daily, it's always, don't bring me something unless it's going to help other people and tell me how to help other people, and then I can tell you how to make a business.
Hmm.
And so he brought a particular site to me and he said, "This is great. People are getting leads off of it, but it says nothing for the people that are getting the leads. It promotes the business." He said, "What if we flip that on its head and promoted the people that need the leads, and let the business work in the background?" And for whatever reason, it resonated with me. And so we do leads for real estate. We do leads for boats and cars and motorcycles. We can we can lead gen just about anything you want.
Yeah.
And so we're launching we're in the test form right now. We've had 6 people across the U.S. Real estate and auto brokers that have used it, and they're wanting more, and they love what they're getting. We had one start with $200 2 months ago, and he's now up to $8,000 in uh, ad space, and he wants to conquer even more. That's crazy amounts, even in the levels of money I deal with. $8,000 a month for one lead gen source blows me away.
It's a lot.
Um, but he said he's got in his first month with $200, he had 151,000% uh, return on investment, which blew me away. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, he basically he sold $4 million states off of one ad, and so
Wow.
he wanted to see just how incrementally he could scale that, and so it's working for him. And so
Yeah.
we're getting ready to launch it. As what I'm telling you, I'm talking and speaking in several real estate conferences. I'm not a realtor. I don't know anything other than buying my own house. But people want the authenticity of how do we how do we make our businesses about other people and make the money a byproduct. And so I always start and I ask everybody. It's a post I've made many times. If money was no object, if you had all the money in the world and you didn't need money, would you still be doing what you're doing today? Would you still have gotten up and done real estate? You'd be surprised. A lot of bosses get upset because their workers are like, "God, no, I wouldn't do it." You know? And
Yeah.
so that's one of my questions to myself every day. If money was no object, would I still be doing what I'm doing? And if the answer is ever no, then I'm probably not going to be doing it for very long. I'm going to liquidate out of it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where the lead gen is for me, it's helping other people again. It's helping people recognize because, man, when I got into funnels, and I don't know how much you do, landing pages and click funnels and all that good stuff, and it boggled my mind. I sat down with 4 or 5 people, and I didn't know what copy was and video, all the other things that go along with it.
Yeah.
Upsell, the downsell, the line. I was going, good. This is horrible. I'm not doing this. But
Mm-hmm.
it's funny how much you soak in. And so we wanted to take all of that and ease uh, people's pain, sales people's pain, primarily realtors because that's where he worked in, but even auto brokers and timeshare people. How do we ease that pain and get them a good site with minimal effort? And so I believe we're right on the cusp of launching it, and it should blow people away.
Yeah. It's awesome. You'll have to tell me when you get that one.
Definitely.
Yeah. Cause I got a small team, as a team leader with EXP. So I got 6 agents now. And one of my big pushes is getting them as many leads as possible. And I'm pretty decent at it as far as Facebook ads are going and stuff, but I'd like to be a lot better to be able to provide them more leads.
I'll throw you a little tip. According to my Network Ninja, Facebook ain't where it's at. I mean, it's doing good, but look at your SEO and look at your Google AdWords. They have a lot more. They drill a lot deeper into the demographics of what you can do and who you can target.
Yeah.
So I know my buddy Ryan Stewman would probably slap me for saying that, but my team is telling me look at Google, look at the AdWords.
Yeah, my main business as a house flipper, I do lead generation off of that, and so I've got, I think they're doing it right. I've got a small team of virtual assistants out of the Philippines running my SEO, and so they're constantly manipulating my backlinks and doing interactions on somewhere between 20 and 30 sites a day, and so I think they're organically building the SEO aspect of it, and I have no idea why, what, when, and how they're doing it, but I do get organic leads now. Just off of direct Google searches. So whatever they're doing is working, but I don't understand
it. I don't either. I listen to the tidbits I need to know to make me sound smart. And then I know I've got enough people that if I go out there and cast a big enough net, they'll be able to make it successful. So that's all I am as a puzzle builder.
Yeah, and there's no point. There's no way and no point of us being able to try to learn everything. It's got to be you just simply can't wrap your hand around so many things and be good at all of them. So that's one thing I've learned here recently is I'll think of it, but then I'm going to have somebody else do it because I don't need to learn it.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I had an opportunity, or still have the opportunity, of buying a supplement company, a well-known supplement company that's out there. And I'm under an NDA, so I can't say too much. But we looked at it, and I kept saying, my younger self would always grab every opportunity. There's an opportunity that was meant for me to grab. And what I'm understanding is in my process, you've got to decide a path, a lane, and stick to it.
Yep.
You can have multiple businesses, you can have multiple streams, but it's one thing to develop and learn and earn, but then that fourth step is mastery. And so we looked at it, and I went to my partners with the manufacturer and said, can we fit this in? Because if we can fit it into our model of the manufacturing facility, then it's just another cog in the wheel. Yep. But if it's something outside of that, then I can't master this, and this is where my passion is. And so it's hard to turn down opportunities.
Yeah.
Real big opportunities and things that have, people have done so much legwork, but they don't have the want to go the extra mile or that final mile.
Yeah.
And I love taking those, but taking on too much of those, you'll just crash and burn. And that's been a lesson for me in the past years.
Yeah. Well, coming up on an hour here, I don't want to take on too much of your time. So there's always 2 questions that I ask everybody. And I don't own any exotic cars, but I would like to eventually, if you like exotic cars or cars in general, what would be your dream vehicle?
Man, I love exotic cars. I have a whole rant on why I'd never drive one, but I love them. So
Okay.
I'll keep it simple.
Okay.
My if I could just go out and pick out a car, I love the new Porsche Panamera Supercharged.
Yeah.
I'm a big dude. I'm 280, 270. I walk around. I'm 6'2". So, my boys have McLarens and Ferraris. I just don't fit in them.
Yeah.
But a Panamera is 4 doors, so at minimum I can slide the seat all the way back and fit in.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That works. Yeah. Hey, there's that new Lamborghini SUV. I forget the name of it, but you never know.
Yeah, I've got another friend that got a Wraith, and I sat in it. It's Rolls Royce. That's a nice car.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 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 And then my favorite one is I'm always talking about, especially on social media, how short life is, or how short life can be, and how we can't take for granted. And there's only one of them. There's no redos. And me personally, I don't want to be 65, 75, 85, or however old I am, sitting on my deathbed and looking back and thinking I had regrets,
Absolutely.
or I woulda, coulda, shoulda. So the question is, if you had 6 months to live, what would you do? What would you change? How would you envision your next 6 months to be before it was all gone?
I do exactly what I'm doing now. That's kind of my mindset is what I want to do is help more people and try to amp it up and probably scale my abilities more than what they are. But I mean, I don't want regrets, and I live a lot by that mindset. So, we care and we have reckless abandon with our empathy and our compassion to help people. And so that's people I do life with, and that's how I want to live my life. So that would be my next 6 months. Exactly what I'm doing today.
Couldn't have been a better answer. I think you're already doing it. You're already doing it.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on. You've about ran the whole gambit of entrepreneurship, and look forward to eventually meeting you.
Definitely.
Especially since we're in the same town, basically.
Yeah, we'll get together.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.